Welcome. This is Chasing the Pulse, and we'll be going over the 2023 turkey season. Season 2023 started with a youth hunt with Jesse Moats, one of my brother's buddies. We got out there well before daylight. I've been scouting this spot out, and it took us a good, I don't know, it was an hour hike in there. We had to go up 2 ridges, and the last ridge was pretty good one. We get to the top, we enjoy the sunrise there. Turkeys start gobbling. We probably heard over 20 gobbles that morning, and but none was just close enough to get onto. We tried venturing down the hill and wrapping around the hill to try to get some closer, calling to them, and we just could never get in range of one. And we were heading back to the four-wheeler, got almost back to the four-wheeler, and one lit up like 50 yards away, and he only gobbled one time, and that was it. And in the process of making it back to the four-wheeler, we actually found a shed, which is, I want to say it was this shed, I'm pretty sure. We were just walking down the ridge and happened to stumble onto it. This turkey season we found a bunch of sheds. I might not have them all here with me, but we found quite a few this year, the most I've ever found. So we talked about youth season. We're going to talk about opening day now. Me and my stepdad went out to a place that we know very well, and the night before I went in, and there was a storm coming in right at dark, and it started getting windy. Well, he only lit up once or twice, and he was only like, believe it or not, like 80 yards off the road. So we get there in the morning. Well, we go back to the house, make a game plan for in the morning. You know, you got the jitters, first day, opening day. You know, you're rolling off your gun, making sure you got all your calls and everything, telling stories. So we get up the next morning, and we get there probably 45 minutes to an hour before daylight, sit there, let everything wake up, birds are chirping. And it's probably about 5:45. Sun's barely, or it's the daylight barely cresting the horizon. He lights up without us even saying anything. And he was a little bit closer. He was 60 yards about this time. If it was daylight, we probably could have seen him. So I give it maybe 15 minutes, and I'm using a mouth call this close. You don't want to be too loud. And I didn't want to move, so I wasn't using a slate or glass. So I got my mouth call out and did a couple yelps, just light, and then did that 2 or 3 times, and then finally he flew down and he shut up for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden he lit up like 30 yards down below us. I did a couple more little yelps, light yelps, and my stepdad was sitting right next to me about 10 yards in a laurel bush, and I was just sitting up against a tree. And he literally walks 5 yards behind my stepdad. He could literally hear him, and there was like dew on the ground, so you couldn't really hear much. That's how close he was. He started spitting and drumming. That's a cool sound to hear. If you get a chance to hear it, it's a pretty cool sound. So he wraps all the way up around us, and I didn't think I was going to be able to make the move to shoot, because turkeys, their eyesight is the best thing that they have. You can't move much. And he gets clear up behind us, and he was looking away, and I finally got a chance to stand up and do a 180 and got a shot on him. Unfortunately, it was too dark when he came around us, so I didn't get to see what he was. But at the top of the ridge of the horizon, it was pretty well daylight almost up there. I could see enough to get a shot and everything. But unfortunately, it was a Jake, and I didn't know it. But it's not all about the beard and the spur length. It's about the hunt and the memories. It's about getting that pulse going. So we get up there, we celebrate and everything, get some pictures, and like I said, we got there about 5 o'clock, and we had the turkey dead by 6:10. So unfortunately, Sarah was at work, and it was opening day. I'm new to this stuff, videoing, so we didn't really have a chance to get anything on video. So about a week later, I end up going out with my fiance and my brother. She's the one that does mainly all the videoing. I do some when I'm by myself. But anyways, a week later, I take my brother out, and we scouted this spot in the early season, before turkey season even got in. And we heard quite a few turkeys up there. So we get up in there probably 45 minutes before daylight, get to the top of the ridge to where we're going to listen and start. And I do a couple out calls, and down the valley we hear probably 3 or 4, but they're pretty far off. And I heard a turkey to my left on the ridge beside us. It sounded like he flew down, but we didn't know what it was. It wasn't gobbling. So we decided to get up. At this time it was like maybe like 7:15. So we get up and we decide to go down in the valley to try to get on the turkeys that were a little farther away. And we walk up this power line, get up on top of this ridge, and we start calling. I hit the box call a couple times. That's what I usually use to try to locate them. It's a louder or higher pitch sound, travels farther. And I hit the box call once or twice, and a turkey lights up right on top of the ridge where we just were. We have some footage of that. You'll see I was pretty mad. Not mad, but frustrated. Then we heard a couple more turkeys down in the valley again, so we decided to forget about the turkey that we just heard on the ridge we came from, which we shouldn't have. We should have went back over there, but we didn't. We go down the ridge probably 300-400 yards, and they totally shut up. By this time it's about 9 o'clock. We ended up picking some ramps. We have some videos of that. I don't know, you guys watching, don't know if you guys have ramps where you guys are, but they're pretty good. It's a good spring snack to get a hold of. That and morels, if you're lucky to find them. But after we got done doing that, we decided to hop back in the truck, and that day wasn't too eventful. It started getting windy on us, and we didn't really hear much after that. There's a power line down at the bottom of this hill we're going to walk up, get up on top of that ridge over there, and see what we can do. The next hunt, it was just me and Sarah. We we got up in the morning, went to up on my family farm, and we didn't really hear much. After that, we decided to go over to her family farm, and we get out of the truck, and we've been hearing turkeys down in here, but for some reason, every time we went over there, it was kind of windy, and we never could stay on them. But this day, as soon as we hop out of the truck, I hit the box call, and like I said before, that's what I usually use to locate. It's got a higher pitch sound, travels farther. Get out, hit the box call a couple times, he lights up down the valley. He's probably at this time 600-700 yards away, so I don't call much back to him, only to locate him, to see where he's at. We get down on a logging road, follow it out to the vicinity where I thought he was. We get down in there, and we call a couple times, and we don't hear him. And at this point, I'm like, turkey's gonna do what a turkey's gonna do. He's gonna shut up on us. He's got hens, probably. But we sit there for about 10-15 minutes, let it settle down, and it hit the box call again. And 3 of them light up, probably like, it was 150 yards away up on top of the ridge, and there's a field up there on top. Well, I sat down there, got set up, put a hen decoy out and a jake decoy out, probably 40 yards away, 30-40 yards, and hoping that they'd come down the hill. And it was really thick right where we were sitting, and the turkeys were already coming, so we couldn't really move. We got stuck, and we sat there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And they eventually came to our left of us, circled around us, and then we thought we were going to get a shot, and they just never popped up over the knoll there. And then they came all the way back to the right, and at this time it was going on 2 hours, and I got up and we wrapped around the mountain to try to get an eye on them. And we get up to the top of the little knoll, and they had to have seen us, or they didn't like what was going on. They never responded again. So we ended up backing out of there, and after that, the day was pretty slow and didn't really get a chance at another one.
Are they straight in front of it?
So the next hunt, me and my fiance end up going out. We get over there, and there's 3 ridges that we have to go up and down to get to the turkey where I thought he was. So I told her we were going to take our time, get up to the top of every ridge and call and sit there for about 10-15 minutes, see what we can hear, see what's going on. Maybe the turkey's moving, or we can hear other turkeys. So we get up to the first ridge, sit down, call, don't hear anything. Taking our time, going down, getting to the top of the next ridge, sit down, call, don't hear anything. And on a piece of national forest, public land, when they're not gobbling much on our farms that we can hunt, I love going out on public land. It's just, you never know what you're going to run into. You never know how the hunt's going to go. We get out there, and we hear this turkey from a different location on a different road, and it's easier to get to the turkey from the other road. Well, I thought anyways. My fiance didn't. And she doesn't want me to say this, but we get down to the bottom of the third, going over the second ridge, going up the third, and she doesn't want to go any further. She wants to go back to the truck, but she wanted to go, but it was starting to get towards the later part of the season, and we've done a lot of walking. And turkey hunting, especially here in the mountains of West Virginia, you have to do a lot of walking. So we we get down to the bottom of that second ridge, going to the top of the third, and I told her, I said, I'm almost positive if we get to the top of this ridge, we're going to hear this turkey. So she decides, all right, let's go. We get to the top, sure enough, I hit the box call once or twice, try to locate him, and he lights up right around the ridge. So at this point, we're getting all excited. We get our drinks in us because we're sweating to death. It's kind of hot that day. And after the sun comes up, and we get all of our bearings together, make sure that the cameras are rolling and everything's good. And we sit in this same spot for like an hour and a half. And he's starting to move out the ridge, and there's a field out there. Well, we tried getting a little bit closer after an hour and a half, and he was already to this edge of the field next to the fence. And we couldn't get any closer because we were too scared of spooking him. So I try to crawl up there with the hen decoy, try to get as close as I can without spooking him. And so we back up, start calling, and at this point I have the 223. I might get some hate over that, maybe not, I don't know. But in West Virginia, you're allowed to use a 223 and a shotgun. And it's starting to get to the later point of the season. I don't have a lot of time to hunt, so I took the 223 out. So he's out there about 80 yards. I can see he's got 5 or 6 hens with him, and I only have one little opening where he's crossing back and forward. And about the third time he comes back in that opening, I let it fly. In the video, you guys can see that it looks like he just drops. But we get out there and we check the field, and unfortunately we didn't find anything, so I must have missed. He must have just like fell down from the sound. But we even checked in like a 150-yard radius, but didn't find anything. And after that, we had a pretty long hike out, and once we got back to the truck, we were pretty well done. It was about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock when we got back to the truck. And in West Virginia, you can only hunt till 1. So we just decided to go back to the house, grab a bite to eat, and take a nap. But that's how that hunt went. Sadly, we missed.
Damn it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come back. Okay. Okay.
So the next hunt was pretty eventful. It was on my family farm. Got up there before sunrise, and up here we hear several turkeys every year. They're usually in the same spot. You know how it is hunting on your own family farm. You got a lot of history. You know what happens, how they roll up there. So this morning I get up there. I was alone. I actually took a day off work to hunt. Sarah was working. Unfortunately, we didn't get any video of this hunt. We got a ton of pictures, but get up there and start hearing turkeys everywhere. Finally, I picked one to go after, and it was kind of windy that day. And he was over the hill in our back field. You guys will eventually see the layout of all the land that I hunt. This land here is a new addition. We moved into our own house but we'll talk about that later. You guys will hear the ins and out of that. But it was kind of windy that day, and I picked one to go after. And like I said, it was over the hill in a field, and here it had 2 hens with it, but the beard was about 9 inches long, and he was gobbling pretty good. So I circle clear around the mountain and get on the edge of the field and get in a bunch of briars and end up calling him into about 40 yards and letting the lead fly, and he folded. And he had it was 3/4 inch spurs, not an inch. So probably a 2-year-old bird, and I think it was 9 1/8 inch beard. Pretty good turkey, but that's the only 2 turkeys that I killed this year. And earlier in the video you heard about the Jake, but yeah, that day was pretty eventful, and that was my last tag. So I tagged out in West Virginia. Well guys, thanks for watching Chasing the Pulse with me today. We went over the 2023 turkey season, and then I'm excited for you guys to get to see all the stories behind all these bucks and what the 2023 deer season has in store. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you press that subscribe button, and we'll see you later.